Dune is one of the most popular science fiction series ever written, and has been adapted twice into film, most recently with a second Dune movie focused on Paul Atreides' rise to power. One of the central themes of the series is the practice of eugenics and selective breeding to create a race of superior, fanatic warriors, as well as control human destiny. Warning: if you haven't read the books, there will be spoilers. Before we dive into the Bene Gesserit's several thousand-year effort to create the Kiswat Haderach, we will first look at the role eugenics played in creating the two most fearsome warrior races in Dune, the Fremen and the Sardaukar. Dune begins with the Atreides family, a noble and powerful house with significant influence in the Imperium. From the beginning, the Atreides are set up to fail, part of a plot by the Emperor and rival house Harkonnen to eliminate the Atreides' threat to the Emperor's power. Despite facing the worst odds, Duke Leto has hope that the situation can be turned to their advantage. The Emperor's power primarily rests on his Imperial shock troops, the Sardaukar. These fearsome warriors are said to be the equivalent of 10 average soldiers from the other great houses. Bred in a prison planet under harsh conditions, Leto sees an opportunity to form his own army of superior warriors in the Fremen. The Duke explains this to Paul in a conversation they have in the book. Did Hawat talk to you about Seleucus Secundus? What if there are more than a prison planet, Paul? That's a question you never hear about the Imperial core of the Sardaukar. Where do they come from? They come from somewhere. But every report on Seleucus Secundus says SS is a hell world. Undoubtedly. But if you were going to raise tough, strong, ferocious men, what environmental conditions would you impose on them? How would you win the loyalty of such men? There are proven ways. Play on the certain knowledge of their superiority, the mystique of secret covenant, the spear of shared suffering. It can be done. It has been done, on many worlds and many times. Consider Arrakis. When you get outside the towns and garrison villages, it's every bit as terrible a place as Seleucus Secundus. We have there the potential of a core as strong and deadly as the Sardaukar. It'll require patience to exploit them secretly and wealth to equip them properly. But the Fremen are there, and the spice wealth is there. You see now why we walk into Arrakis, knowing the trap is there. Leto sees an opportunity to create his own army of warrior fanatics by mirroring the methods used to train the Sardaukar. Atreides' mentat Thurfir Hawat, who is now in the service of the Baron Harkonnen, makes similar connections on the potential of the Fremen. You speak too casually of Seleucus Secundus. The conditions on the prison planet are more oppressive than anywhere else. You hear that the mortality rate among new prisoners is higher than 60%. You hear that the Emperor practices every form of oppression there. You hear all this and do not ask questions? You've never wondered where the Emperor gets his Sardaukar? The story you hear about the exploits of the Sardaukar, they're not rumors, are they? Those are first-hand accounts from the limited number of survivors who fought against the Sardaukar. Arrakis provides a pool of recruits already conditioned to the bitterest survival training. I mean the Fremen. We haven't even cut heavily into their birth rate growth figure. We've just weeded out some of their less successful specimens, leaving the strong to grow stronger, just like on Seleucus Secundus. A man who survives Seleucus Secundus starts out being tougher than most others. When you add the very best of military training, how could you be sure of the loyalty of such recruits? I would take them in small groups, not larger than platoon strength. I'd remove them from their oppressive situation and isolate them with a training cadre of people who understood their background, preferably people who had preceded them from the same oppressive situation. Then, I'd fill them with the mystique that their planet had really been a secret training ground to produce just such superior beings as themselves. All the while, I'd show them what such superior beings could earn: rich living, beautiful women, fine mansions, whatever they desired. The way the Sardaukar live at home. The recruits come to believe in time that such a place as Seleucus Secundus is justified because it produced them, the elite. The commonest Sardaukar troop lives a life, in many respects, as exalted as that of any member of the Great House. There are a lot of commonalities between the training of the Fremen and the Sardaukar. Both are brought up in harsh environments where survival is not guaranteed, ensuring that those who do make it out of this natural selection are not only stronger, smarter, but tougher too, willing to make it through anything. In addition, the Sardaukar and the Fremen both have this esprit de corps, this belief that they have a divine right to their strength. Both train incessantly for war. The Fremen fight amongst themselves, against the Harkonnens, and for survival. A Fremen child from a young age knows how to use the crease knife in battle. The Sardaukar, on the other hand, literally represent the power of the Padishah Emperor. They are constantly fighting for his power and against rival houses, and every one of the Sardaukar is worth 10 normal levies from the Lancerad. Last of all, both are imbued with a fanatic warrior spirit, this ethos that sets them apart as superior to the rest. For the Fremen, it is their belief in their prophet and savior Paul Muad'Dib and fighting for his jihad. For the Sardaukar, they are literally the armed wing of the Emperor. They are the Emperor's blades, and they have defeated all these other enemies in battle for thousands of years. And to make it out of Sardaukar training is to be a superior few, and it gives them this special spirit that nobody can conquer them. Nobody can defeat the Sardaukar. So both these two races have this idea that no one can beat them. They are either, in the Fremen case, divinely given the right to victory as part of their religion, or for the Sardaukar, they have this thousands of years history of being the Emperor's blades, of never losing in battle, and it gives them this special spirit of invincibility and superiority. Now let's take a look at the Bene Gesserit. This order of witches is dedicated to directing human destiny through a strict eugenics breeding program, tracked through supercomputers over the course of thousands of years. The Bene Gesserit practice extensive physical and mental conditioning to achieve superhuman abilities, which allow them near absolute self-control, as well as the ability to use the voice, which more or less allows them to control the target individual's minds. The ultimate goal of the Bene Gesserit breeding program is to create the Kiswat Haderach, an individual they hope will have the power to control human destiny. The Bene Gesserit program had as its target the breeding of a person they labeled the Kiswat Haderach, a term signifying one who can be many places at once. In simpler terms, what they sought was a human with mental powers permitting to understand and use higher order dimensions. They were breeding for a supermentat, a human computer with some of the prescient abilities found in guild navigators. Muad'Dib, born Paul Atreides, was the son of the Duke Leto, a man whose bloodline has been watched carefully for more than 1,000 years. The Prophet's mother, Lady Jessica, was a natural daughter of the Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, and carried gene markers whose supreme importance to the breeding program was known for almost 2,000 years. Ultimately, Dune is filled with this idea of eugenics and selective breeding to create a special type of individual or a special race of warriors. There's this idea that through a selective process, which can take literally thousands of years, they can move human destiny towards specific ends. For the warrior races of the Fremen and the Sardaukar, it was literally the military projection of being able to conquer the universe, in a sense. It was literal power, like by creating these harsh environments and these harsh training methods, only the strongest survive, and only the strongest end up being a part of these warrior cultures. Hence, they are able to conquer everyone else. And for the Bene Gesserit, it's this ability to create this superhuman with prescient abilities, the ability to see the future through this very strict breeding program, which goes across so many years and has so much dedication and literal records to look at every little piece of DNA and biology. So it's this idea that through selective breeding, through eugenics, they can alter the course of human history and create superior beings. And it's a concept that a lot of people find dangerous today, and perhaps for good reason, but it's also something to think about. Is Frank Herbert trying to advocate for eugenics, or is he actually talking about the potential negative ramifications of it? And that's ultimately for the reader to decide. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're going to see Dune 2, hopefully you now are going to see it with a little bit more background knowledge on the Dune series and maybe understand the concepts in the film a little bit better. I personally can't wait to see it, and I hope it's good. But as always, this is The Warrior Philosopher, building the foundations of the warrior philosophy. We'll see you next time.
Abura Karanzi. Atata.